He squeezed through caves into big open sections, and then they were like, oh, this guy disappeared, and someone else went caving, and they found his body wedged between two rocks.
That's when you gnaw off your arm like James Franco. Was it his arm?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was his arm.
Or his leg.
Yeah, but you can't gnaw your forehead off if your forehead's stuck between two rocks.
Not with that attitude. Well, you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome. This is The Room Upstairs. This is our very first episode, full episode on the YouTube.
Where are you pointing?
The outside.
Yeah.
The camera's right there.
The Room Upstairs. Welcome. My name is Bird. I'm here with my co-host,
The TallBeing
and
Mephisjoe.
So, The Room Upstairs podcast, you can search us on any podcast platform except for Stitcher. And you can check out some past episodes of what we do. Like I said, this is our first full video on YouTube where you can actually see our faces.
So,
congratulations. Welcome to The Room Upstairs. We take two movies. We take an original and its reboot, and we battle them against each other.
except for when we don't.
That's right. We like to talk about random things according to the entertainment industry. Which is what we'll be doing today, but we're also going to be introducing something new.
Yes. So, we're not going to tell you what that is right now, and you're going to wait until the end.
All right, so let's get this thing started.
Yeah. I have a little list here on an unseen computer.
Okay, I'm going to mention, though, that thing that you said we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm just going to give the teaser for it.
All right.
So, like I said, we battle out movies. That's our main event, but we're also going to be adding... Whenever we don't have our main event, actually for every episode we're going to do this, right?
Yes.
For every episode we're going to do mini battles, basically a bracket system where we're going to take different themes.
Themes, yeah.
So, if we were going to go with a school fight theme,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Only movies or shows where a school fight is
Like
prevalent.
the movie Fist Fight and one of my all-time favorites,
Uh-huh.
3 O'Clock High.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can throw in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Is there a fist fight in that?
There is the football scene where he's like, what's his name? Forrest Whitaker. He's taking everybody out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway, if we can we'll add things like that, pin them against each other, and then
have a tournament of movies.
tournament style battle. So,
A tournament of champions, you might say.
and we'll do our first one. Actually, we'll pull the first two contestants at the end of this episode.
Yes.
Announce it. We can all go and do our research.
Are we going to pull them? Are we going to pull them in a fun digital way, or pull them out of a literal hat kind of way?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. We'll have to wait till that point to reveal how we're gonna pick the contestants.
Okay.
So, first, we watched the Mario movie.
Yes.
Not the old one, because we had that and lost it for some reason. We don't know where it went.
We'll have it again in a couple of days.
Yeah, that was actually supposed to be the battle for this episode, but like I said, we couldn't find it.
Cost $4.74 on Amazon.
Yeah.
So that will be
Go
the
grab
next
it.
battle.
Yeah. So,
Quick thoughts?
quick thoughts on
As
it.
a diehard Bob Hoskins fan, I like the new one.
The new one is a good movie. If you haven't watched it, if you're a Mario fan of any kind, any of the video games, watch the movie. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much of a Mario fan I was until I watched it. And I was like, I understand that reference. That was a thing.
Yeah, it's good. It's got some nostalgia, but it's also got some new stuff in there. I think all around it was...
It's clear at some point they were like, Jack Black, you just do your thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get on into all those details next time. For now,
Yeah. For now,
it's a thumbs up from me.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up from the other two. Oh, 2 thumbs up?
2 thumbs up.
Nintendo thumb.
My 4-year-old liked it too. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
It was all around a good movie. So if you've got kids, watch it. They'll like it, I think. Yeah. If you're an adult and you know Mario, you'll also like it.
And if they're young enough, they'll be like, "Where's the subscribe button?"
Yeah, and next week, like we said, we'll battle out the old Mario movie with Bob Hoskins and Johnny Legs,
Super Mario Brothers,
and the new version. So stay tuned for
You
that.
gotta be quick about this.
Yes, let's go. Next one.
All right, Nintendo Train. We played more Zelda. What are you thinking so far?
I love it.
Yeah.
I've unlocked the whole map. I exploited the glitch where you can multiply stuff and have a bunch of diamonds now.
I gotta do that right now.
I'm a happy boy.
Yeah.
I am currently in my 3rd dungeon, the fire dungeon, and it is way better than the other 2 I did.
I've thought about calling into work for like 2 weeks just to play.
Yeah. So it's still good.
All right.
Recommend it.
Yeah.
Worth the $70.
Still haven't played it. So that's my opinion.
All right. Another video game. Spider-Man 2 for PS5. It got gameplay revealed. I watched it. It was like 12 minutes.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm not.
Yeah. It was just a chunk of gameplay. It wasn't even a trailer. It was just, here's how the game works. Here's the combat system.
The symbiote suit stuff looked really cool.
Yeah, it looks.
I can respect that because, as I've mentioned before, usually the trailers for video games, it's just the cutscenes and you don't actually get to know what the game is like. But 12 minutes, you get to see what the game's like.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it, but at least I can respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's solid. Now, I'll say that. I'm not going to play it anytime soon because we do not own a PS5.
Yet.
We
Neither
do not
do I.
own a PS5.
I haven't even played the last one.
Christmas is coming.
Sure.
Hey, my birthday's next month.
Yeah.
You want a PS4?
Yeah, we got to
You
upgrade. We're gonna get a new one. So. All right, is that it on Spider-Man?
Yeah, looks good. I like that both of the Spider-Mans are in it, and you can switch between them. That's cool.
Nice.
All right, next. 3 trailers released. We didn't watch any of them. Barbie, The Flash, and The Creator. Real quick. Barbie, I want to watch this movie. I just want to watch it at this point.
If it's anything like Barbie and Life in the Dream House, I'm in. That show was amazing. I did see the Flash trailer. Looks really good.
All right, I haven't watched the new one. I just want to watch the movie at this point. On this note, really fast, the director spoiled a cameo that's in it.
On the Flash. I've seen stuff about that, but I've stayed away.
So you don't know what the cameo is?
I haven't heard about it either.
I don't
It
know.
is the best superhero cameo
Well,
I've
don't
ever
keep
seen.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Spoilers, man.
Yeah, watch out for those spoilers if you're online just looking through comics stuff.
Yeah, it's
it'll
dangerous
pop
out
up.
there.
Yeah,
It'll
you, gotta
pop.
live, you gotta live in a cave practically now.
Yeah. So we're not gonna spoil it either.
Yeah, won't spoil it here. It's a good one.
And the creator,
I am looking forward to
The
watching the Flash.
Creator, yes.
I have no idea what that is.
It's a science fiction, I believe, space opera from the Rogue One director.
Oh yeah, this is the one I made the joke about Moonfall.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
I want to watch this and Rebel Moon, both cool space operas that aren't Star Wars. I
Yeah,
feel
I'll be
like
real.
that's not really-
Moonfall wasn't. It was a fun movie, but it was, it was.
wasn't
From your
great.
It's a
description-
popcorn movie. Like you just
Yeah.
watch it because you got nothing to do.
Yeah, from your
Don't watch it
description, it
'cause-
seemed like that.
Yeah.
It'd be a good little.
Don't
watch.
go into it thinking like, is this going to be the next Scorsese? No, it's not.
Right. It's no Interstellar.
No.
We'll
Yeah,
get to
Interstellar, man, that was mind bending.
We'll get to that. We'll get
Okay.
to that.
All right.
All right. And most importantly, we have to keep our promise, especially now that it's happening.
Yes.
We have a Conan 3 update.
Okay. So, if you guys haven't listened to us before, big Conan fan here. Me specifically. You can tell by my physique that I model myself after
He
Arnie.
loves the Conan bod.
Yeah. So, but seriously, I've been looking forward to Conan, King Conan, or the Legend of Conan, whatever they're gonna end up calling it if it ever happens. Since I saw the original movie, so we've been trying to stay updated because there's been news bubbling around that they're gonna finally make it happen. So, latest news
Yes.
is it's still not happening, but it's a little bit closer.
Yeah.
I hear Steve Buscemi's in talks to play Conan.
Oh gosh. Arnie is still going to be Conan. He's very interested. There is a script done, so that's ready to go.
Yeah, seriously, I hope it just comes out because at this point I'm tired of you showing me pictures of Conan bod.
Yeah, check this one out. Here he is with Wilt Chamberlain and Andre the Giant.
Let me explain to you abs. Like, yeah, I understand abs.
Yeah, I'll keep doing it until it's time, man. So make it trend, Conan.
Yeah.
Hashtag Conan.
Let's do it. Let's bring it back.
Yeah. But yeah, it's ready to go. They just need some studio willing to put it out.
Yeah.
So whoever wants to pick that up, let's do it. Let's make it happen.
It's good on them. And
Hashtag Conan. So that's the Conan update. I'm not sure what else because I can't see
Interstellar,
the
I
list.
think, is all we got left.
Interstellar, yeah. We can talk about that.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
So we went on a little vacation during our hiatus. Not him, he wasn't there. But during the time,
It was in our hearts.
I just watched chickens die.
During that time, we got the ability to watch Interstellar for free because it was on our flight.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah,
do you
obviously
think?
this is an old movie. It came out, I don't even remember when it came out, 2018?
It's older than that,
It's older than that?
I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
my goodness. Whatever, it's an old movie. Christopher Nolan directed it.
Co-wrote.
2014.
2014.
9 years old.
Yeah, so very
Matthew
old movie.
McConaughey.
Yeah.
If
Matthew what a cast!
Okay,
Just first off,
yes, first off,
10 minutes.
the cast is phenomenal. It's got Matthew McConaughey, young Timothy Chalamet,
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway,
Michael Caine.
Matt Damon. I don't know who that little girl was, but she was also great.
Great value, Jake Gyllenhaal.
John Lithgow.
Great cast, regardless. Again, directed by Christopher Nolan, who did the Dark Knight trilogy, which was awesome.
Yeah. Inception.
Inception. Was this after Inception? It was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we finally got around to watching it. We've seen it around. It just, for whatever reason, since 2014, we haven't watched it.
No.
And we finally did. And at first watch, like watching through it on the plane, I was like, wow, this is epic.
Yeah, me too. This is not what I was
The
expecting.
music was great.
Yeah. Hans Zimmer, I understand why this is considered one of his greatest scores of all time.
Yeah.
One of the greatest scores of all time.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, even on the plane.
Yeah.
Because we've seen other movies on planes, but Dune, for
Yeah.
example.
Dune, not a good plane watch.
No. This one, with things exploding out in space for some reason, it was still good to watch on a plane. But I did enjoy it. I mean, the acting was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like the cast was good. They actually did a good job.
Yeah.
So,
You shouldn't be surprised. And Christopher Nolan, like people like to make fun of Matthew McConaughey, but like he's legit really good.
he's good when he's on. He's on.
You know what? This is going to sound ridiculous. I apologize in advance. But someday I would like to play a D&D session and my character will be based on Matthew McConaughey.
Uh-huh.
And I'll just run around saying Matthew McConaughey stuff. All right. Like playing bongos in the nude in the middle of the night. Like, he'll be like, maybe he'll be a bard or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You ever see
right,
that movie
we
with
should do
him? It's got
Ring of
him.
Fire?
No, it's that is an interesting movie. No,
I
but like,
like that you didn't say good.
interesting. Because that movie, they hyped it up. I remember being young and I watched it and I was like, the crap was that? But no, there was a movie with him and Bill Paxton.
Uh-huh.
And like Bill Paxton had this vision from God and he could see people's sins, and so he became a serial killer. And he's trying to convince his two sons that they're blessed by the Lord, and one of the sons is in it. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And the other son is like, you guys are going crazy. And so Matthew McConaughey plays the son who is not in it. He's trying to share with this federal agent, yeah, I know who the killer is, and blah blah blah. And
I have no idea what
oh,
movie
you
that
should.
is.
Okay, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna figure out what it's called, and I'm gonna make you guys watch it.
Okay.
And the next time we do this, you guys can talk about it.
Okay.
All right, then.
Right. So, yeah.
First watch.
Amazing. After I finished watching it, I think I said
We
to
just
you
looked over at
that
each
was
other.
epic or
Yeah.
something like that. I think I actually said that to you. And then we started thinking about it.
Yeah. And the more you think about this movie, the weirder it gets,
Yeah.
and the less it makes sense.
Yeah. It was very much like, why were they doing that?
Yeah.
Wait, what was the point of what was going on?
How did that get there? And
Maybe
how did it happen?
Maybe somebody smarter than us fully understands and appreciates, but we were like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
We got to put a hold on this.
Now, to be fair, it is about
Everything.
yeah, everything, yeah. But extra dimensions and space time and stuff, and that's what I like quite a bit.
Very
that's
much
what
a science fiction movie.
Yeah, that's what my book that I wrote is about. It's still weird.
Yeah. Yeah, what'd you think? Because it's been a while since you watched it too.
I really enjoyed it, and quite honestly, I've been telling him for a while that he should read Project Hail Mary. Oh, sorry, TallBeing. That he should read Project Hail Mary. It's an amazing book.
Yeah,
like one of the best books I've read in the last year.
I have The Martian up there. I'm gonna read that, and then I'll read.
So Martian, they made the movie, and I haven't read the book, but the movie was really good. But Project Hail Mary, man, probably one of the best books I've read in years, and a lot of the science is in that as well.
Yeah.
And so it reminded me of Interstellar when I was reading it. I thought it was a really interesting story, and that's some of the stuff that every day, who thinks about how time works and traveling at interstellar speeds and stuff. Now the part with the bookshelf, that was a little weird. I don't know what was going on there. And I remember at that part being like, I think I missed a scene or something because I have no idea. He's like his own ghost, whatever. Anyways, but there's those scenes, but it's Christopher Nolan, so I'm sure there's some sort of symbolism or something there that I'm just not smart enough to understand.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe to some kind of astrophysicist, they're like, wow, this movie.
Yeah, if you travel fast enough, you end up in the back of a bookshelf. Right.
Behind every bookshelf.
It'd be
that bookshelf.
I would be so happy right now if one of your books just leapt off the shelf. You know what I'm saying?
That would be great.
Just left some dust notes.
Yeah. So I think that Christopher Nolan definitely deserves some props for this movie, but in the end, it was strange.
This is the face of someone who's about to disagree.
Okay. Go ahead.
I am of the opinion that Christopher Nolan is overhyped personally. I think, he makes some really good movies.
Yeah.
And he knows how to make a good movie. But directing wise, I don't think he's very interesting.
You prefer Brett Ratner?
Brad Bird?
No, I'm a Robert Rodriguez guy.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Oh man, Robert Rodriguez.
Those Spy Kid movies were.
Have you watched his non-Spy Kid movies? Because I have.
Yeah. Hey, not Machete. El Mariachi was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
So, is that our timer?
And then you got that Once Upon a Time in Mexico, and you're like,
oh right. Mm-hmm.
I get that it's fun.
But Desperado was good.
Desperado's amazing.
So he's got some good ones.
And then Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
I mean, he does have a defining style that's, I like it because he does a lot of practical effects too.
Yeah.
But it's also not big budget. Christopher Nolan's super big budget, and he does practical effects too, which is good. But
but there's nobody's watching the Spy Kids and be like, man, these graphics are.
But that's different. Those movies were different. I made a joke about that, but those movies are different. There's something else.
They are. That's true. The audience is not quite the same.
Right. Yeah.
Listen though, Spy Kids 2 has one of the single greatest cinematic lines I've ever heard.
Go for it.
And it's from Steve Buscemi.
Lay it on us.
Of course it is. Steve Buscemi, man.
He is this doctor that has created animal fusions and then hidden them on an island and is now hiding from them on the island.
Is his name Dr. Moreau?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't
not.
think so.
No, it's not.
It's like Brown or something. I don't know. And he says, do you think that God also hides in heaven because he too fears what he has created? Why is that in Spy Kids? I don't know.
Yeah, plus that's just bad theology, man.
I mean, yeah, but it's an interesting line.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another line in one of his movies that's like,
you know what? It makes sense that you would like that. Having read your book and knowing the things that you enjoy, you definitely are you like the high drama.
Yeah. I have a flair for the dramatic.
Yeah. Well, enough about Robert Rodriguez.
I'm surprised he's not wearing a cape, by the way.
I have one. Mm-hmm. Next episode.
Just every episode. Yeah, they'll be like that show with the two guys and the dude with the cape.
Yeah.
I'll have to change it from the room upstairs to the two guys and the dude with the cape.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, actually. We'll have to think about that
We
one.
have a plaque and everything.
I know. Well,
All right, well, is that Interstellar?
yeah.
We had a full 45 seconds left, guys.
Oh,
Are you
okay.
sure the alarm just didn't go off and we?
Nah, I saw it. We're good.
Okay.
All right.
So then you don't recommend it? Is that the
I
final?
recommend it.
Yeah.
It's not the best movie.
He just doesn't recommend the
Christopher
director.
Nolan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not even that. All of the Christopher Nolan movies I've watched are good. I just don't think his directing is very interesting.
I'm gonna say all his movies are good, but I don't like his directing.
I was talking to him about that. too.
Story-wise, like, they're all
That
good.
doesn't make sense.
Yes.
That's going like I love all the music in Studio Ghibli, but Joe Hisashi is just not my cup of
He's
tea.
not my guy.
Yeah, you know, like,
No, like, visually, the camera work, I just don't think is super interesting a whole lot of the time.
Just the
it's very
actual
clear, which is good.
Yeah.
And I think
So
that's
it's
his whole
HD
thing.
cameras, yeah.
No, just like the way he frames stuff is where you can tell what's going on.
That's the good directing, though. Like, he...
But it's not
Says-
interesting.
yeah. Well, and he probably also has like a very specific cinematographer that he's using. You know, like that's what people do. Like you find your team and you build your team. And you
Oh, he
keep your
definitely
team.
has the same people that
Yeah.
he likes to use.
and you keep them. I'm just saying, like some of that is not necessarily like. I'm sure the visual style, like at the end of the day, he gets the final say on it. But
Yeah. So let's so who is your favorite guy, director, that you think is interesting?
I think it's interesting. Robert Rodriguez.
Okay.
anyway, he already
That's-
said that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Brett Ratner.
All right. Well, you guys do what you want with that take.
That
So-
was a joke. He's terrible.
All right.
All right,
Where are we at?
10 minutes.
Okay.
We watched Ant-Man.
Okay. So then let's spoil it.
Cool.
MODOK
is the best part of the movie.
I thought his naked bottom was in it.
Yeah,
Is it?
for like a second. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
people
remember
like
that.
freeze frame it and stuff. You want to see that?
Sounds
I haven't
right.
seen that at all.
That's like all I knew about the movie before.
I watched it on VidAngel. So that's not true, but
Product placement.
no, we just watched it on Disney, and so all right. Here's my thoughts on it, okay? Because I had said before that like I was expecting this to be. I put a lot on this movie.
Really?
I think
I
rightfully
put
so.
like nothing on this movie.
No.
According to how Disney is rolling out this Marvel phase, you have
Yes.
to.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, everything's going. This is what's going to push the movie, or not the movie, but the
universe.
forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where we're going to get a clear picture of what's going to be happening because Doctor Strange didn't do it, which we thought we were going to get some in that.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen there. Black Panther was its own thing too, so like nothing was really happening there. All the TV shows
Yeah.
just adding to like what the heck is going on.
Yeah.
So Ant-Man and the Quantumania, the whole quantum realm. Kang's gonna be the
obvious
big
focus on Kang. the
yeah,
entire
yeah.
Time.
Like
And we already know he's going to be the big bad.
Yeah.
right,
They
we
named
knew
the
that,
movie
but
after
that's
him.
what I'm saying, and that's why I was like, okay, so we know he's the bad guy. This has to be carrying the load of what's happening next, and it just did not deliver for me.
No.
Yeah, I
So-
think I was watching some guy talk about it, and one of the things he said was, especially when you look at the early phases and you're talking Thanos, like Thanos didn't appear, his henchmen did, and if they got beat, that was fine. But at this point, Kang, in one form or another, has showed up several times,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and in all those cases, loses.
yeah,
Why should we be afraid of him? Like with Thanos, like you see him put the glove on, or I'll do it myself, and then when he does finally show up,
He beats
he
everyone.
wins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I understand that they want to introduce Kang, but he should have won
Yeah.
right.
He should have won, like,
especially the way that it happened in this movie.
for sure.
So you
He gets-
you know what happened?
Yeah, I've seen.
Okay, so I'm
like
gonna
I
say
said,
it because this was
it's been spoiled for me.
it really doesn't make any sense.
He gets beat by ants. Hyper ants. It opens up like a whole philosophical thing that I wasn't ready for in this
So
movie.
here's
They're super smart ants.
I'm fine with that.
From what I saw, like he
Just drops them randomly.
he
It's like, oh yeah,
demonstrates
they're hyper
abilities.
ants now.
Random, sure, but I was fine with them.
he
being
demonstrates
smart.
abilities that he doesn't even use when the ants actually show up. Like,
Yeah.
if you can shoot lasers from your hands, well,
Why are you not shooting lasers?
That's what I'm talking about. So throughout the whole movie, like they were like building him up that he's this great like crazy leader and super
conqueror.
strong and
Yeah.
yeah. and even toward the end where he starts just taking out people, shooting people with his hands, and it's like, what is Ant-Man and the Wasp gonna do to, like, how are they gonna stop him?
Answer: they just do.
They don't. It's Hank.
That's true.
It's Hank. They don't.
And then Ant-Man fist fights him.
Yes, that's what I was gonna bring up. How is he? How?
All right. This is more biased thing for me. I like when two characters are fist fighting or like dueling or something, and it's just two of them. Mm-hmm. I like there to be like some significant thematic weight behind why these two specific characters are fighting.
Sure.
Like either they've had history together or they represent two opposing philosophies or ideas.
You're talking Rocky all in my ear right here.
Yeah, exactly. they got to represent like opposite or some sort of opposing things. Yeah. And there was nothing like that for these two.
I mean, it was somewhat, but
they met like 5 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, but for me, and like I'm gonna go toxic fandom here. Like in the comics, Kang can go toe to toe with like the best physical
all
fighters.
Of the Avengers multiple times.
Captain America is like arguably one of the better fighters in the Marvel universe. Like he can go toe to toe with him and win.
Yeah.
Like he beats Captain America in his shield. He beats dudes with swords, like Black Knight with the sword. Like he even beats some of the superpower like Wonder Man, like people who have powers and are nothing to snub your nose at. But like,
and that's what they built him up as through the movie and through even like Loki and wherever else we heard or saw him. That's what they built him up as. Yeah. And then he gets taken out. Well, one, he can't even beat Ant-Man in a fist fight. I don't know how Ant-Man's...
I
don't know how his face doesn't just blow up on a punch.
Like when your opening for Thanos is, here, we're going to have him smash the Tesseract, which was the entire MacGuffin of Phase 1, have him choke Loki to death, who comes back every time he dies.
And then beat down Thor. Hulk, and Thor. Like the two strongest dudes that we know of in the Avengers. He physically beats them.
In the first 10 minutes of the movie. And then we get an entire movie
without even like breaking a sweat.
Ant-Man. Yeah.
It's like easy for him.
And I want to go back to what you said. You mentioned that that it wasn't even Scott that called the answer. It was Hank. Like he's the one that like comes in and saves the day. It's like I when I watched the Moon Knight show, like it's one of the problems I have with that show too. Like at the end of the day, they win, but it's not really because he does such a great job. Like he's involved, but it's his girl. What's the Scarlet? The Scarab, whatever her name was. Like she's the one that shines, and she is like, I mean, she doesn't even get scratched or anything. Like she's unscathed.
She was dope though in that show.
She is, and I thought that was really cool, and it's great that they're like building him a little team. But if you're the main character,
you got to be.
You should be the one that's victorious. And now you can make the argument that Hank is the original Ant-Man, right, in the 80s or whatever it was.
Honestly,
when he was
I could even see
Ant-Man.
it like in the first two movies when he had more of a role. But he didn't do anything in this movie.
And that's the deal. Is like if you're the title character, like the resolution, like it goes back to what TallBeing here is saying about like the fist fighting. Like it's ideologies clashing, it's personal stuff getting worked out and resolved. Like it's Rocky. Like so at the end of the day, like that's where the resolution should come from. That's good storytelling. This is not, and like. That's one of the reasons I didn't go watch it in the theaters. Like, the spoilers. Like, I didn't even try to avoid spoilers because, I mean, like at this point, I feel like the Marvel stuff's a train wreck as it is. Like, they definitely need some course correction, and it doesn't help that they're jamming all the worldly ideology into that stuff. Like, I don't need you to tell me what to believe or feel. Like, I know. Like, I'm a grown man. I can make my own decisions. I just want you. To entertain me. Yeah. You're a clown.
Dance monkey.
That's right. Like, and I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but let's be real. Like, that's what they are. You make movies and TV shows. Make movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
The good ones.
Yeah.
Because if you keep churning out garbage,
no one's gonna watch.
I'm not interested. I'm not interested in watching it.
Yeah. So go watch Ant-Man. It's a good one. No, I mean I would.
MODOK is the best part of the movie. I wish he was the main villain. And
let's talk about MODOK for a second before we run out of time. So I don't know a lot about MODOK in like the comics or anything. I just know him from the Hulu show and this movie. And I think somewhere else I saw something about him. But I don't know a whole lot about him. So I don't know if that portrayal of what we saw is what he's actually like. And if it is, because I've seen people say that he was very comic accurate. And if he is, I just don't like MODOK.
Well, his name, I can't remember all. It's like machine something designed only for killing.
Organism designed
only for killing.
MODOK.
MODOK.
Yeah, basically. But I think they changed the K. It's not for killing anymore. Like,
No, they said for killing.
okay, well, I mean, like, and that's the deal. Is like he was always like, I mean, like he looks menacing but he's always kind of been
He's kind of a clown.
a joke. Yeah, like I mean, he gets beat at this point. He's getting beat up by like teenage Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So then
we have Brodok.
So then the portrayal in the movie is pretty accurate to what he's like.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then I don't like MODOK. I didn't think he was fun.
so we need to get you a shirt made that says "Not Team MODOK."
Yeah. And then just put his face with circle line.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but then it already says "Not Team MODOK" with the circle on the line. Like, would that mean you are Team MODOK?
Not.
Yeah.
That's another philosophical question I'm not ready to answer right now.
It's the double negatives.
Yeah. It's just English, man. If we were speaking Spanish, it'd be a breeze.
Well,
I
that's our timer.
say not Team
Our
MODOK.
timer's
in
going
Spanish.
off? Okay.
In 1 second.
All right. Anything else pertinent to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania? Anything that needs to be said about it?
No. I
Do
have nothing to say about
they
this
need to
movie.
watch it to...
I don't
to know the
know.
movie?
I don't know what
Will
their plan
Jonathan
is.
Majors be in the next phase?
That's a big
No.
That's a big
He's
question.
not going to show up after Loki.
Big question.
He'll be in
I would-
Loki season 2, and that's it.
I would still say to watch Ant-Man if you have Disney Plus because you have it. Just watch it.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna
then
watch it. You know,
Don't expect a whole lot, and then
It's
you
gonna
might
be
enjoy
like
it.
I don't.
almost every Marvel movie that's released post Endgame. Almost. There have been a few that I think about regularly, or semi-regularly. I don't think about almost any of them.
I finally did watch that new Black Panther movie.
Yeah.
What do you think? About
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I
like
still
the
had
movies.
issues with it. I was like, we did this already, right?
Mhm.
This was called Civil War.
Yeah.
Except these people are getting away with it, and Captain America didn't. Like,
War criminals.
Yeah. I still liked it though.
and
liked
then
it.
I feel like it was like I mean, the story was fine. Yeah, the main story I didn't have a problem with. But at some point, like, they keep doing that thing where, like, this is also a vehicle so we can launch the Thunderbolts. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
tell
It's
us a
too
good
much.
story. Just tell us a good story.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End credit scene. That's all we need.
All right.
Nick Fury.
So
Yeah,
we go.
exactly.
It just be him every time.
what do we have next?
Let me tell you about the Thunderbolt Initiative.
Yeah. End of every movie.
Yeah, well, it could be nonsensical. Let me tell you about the Ant-Man Initiative. Like, just that's more entertaining to me than whatever they're doing now with.
Should show up at the end of the next Mario movie. I'm here to tell you about the Smash Brothers initiative.
Right. That
There
would
you
be
go.
that would be awesome.
He could be playing like the Master Hand or something.
Like,
Yes.
and I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna do a Smash Brothers.
Well, yes, people are calling like, "Hey, like, that was really good. Clearly, it made money. Like, let's see some more Nintendo movies,
I want to see a Zelda movie.
and then a Smash Brothers."
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that there
But the
was
question
talks about
is-
some. I think I saw that.
When you do the Zelda movie, does Link have speaking lines?
That's a good question.
He has to in the movie though.
Does he though?
What if we just cast Chris Pratt as every lead?
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Or anyone that Charles Martinet played.
Who's
It's just
that?
Chris. He played the Mario and most of the Mario
Oh,
characters in the
Whoever he
games.
was.
Oh,
Anyone that Charles Martinet played is now Chris Pratt.
Well, that's a thought. We do have ideas here, so
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, that dude's got 2 movies out right now. Isn't that crazy?
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's no Gamora.
Oh, yeah, she'd be in everything.
Yeah.
I was like,
#1 movie.
she was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
the top 3
Was she?
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was in the first Pirates of the Caribbean, and then she was like, "Nah, I'm done with it."
Yeah.
What's
I
her
do
name?
remember that.
Rightly
Why
so.
can't I
It was
remember?
Zoe.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was in Avatar
Uh-huh,
and the Avengers movies. They were the top 3 movies.
You know what movie I really like with her is that what was that one?
The Losers.
The Losers. Yeah. Oh man, that's such a good movie.
I haven't seen it all yet.
Really?
I have it on my list to watch it.
I think I have that one.
Yeah. It looks like a fun one.
It is. It's got a young Chris Evans.
Young Chris Evans.
Being a goofball, man.
5 years ago. No, that was older than that too, huh?
Yeah, because do you remember when he was in that because he used to do only comedy? Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember him the most from Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh yeah, with the whipped cream.
You
didn't get to see that scene because of Vid Angel.
Yeah. Vid Angel wasn't around at that time. I was forced to watch that.
With the banana?
No, my favorite part was when he looks at his photo.
Oh yeah.
And then he turns around with the same face.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got comedy chops.
Yeah. Well, him and Thor, both of them.
Oh yeah. That's why it was so weird when he was Captain America. You're like, no, he didn't got the chops for that. And then he was like,
he made it happen.
Became Captain America.
He made it happen, yeah. All right, what do we got next?
All right. Starting a timer. Mando season 3.
Okay, so we're bringing up old stuff, obviously, because we haven't done a podcast in quite a while because of our vacation and just getting things together for this new setup.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about Mando. We were talking about it throughout the actual podcast, but we didn't do a finale review. Did it hit home?
I'll be honest. I feel like a big chunk of that season was cleaning up the mess they made with Book of Boba. Because from what I read and I don't know.
You haven't seen it?
I don't know. I've seen it, yeah.
Okay.
But like I don't know how true like some of the whispers and rumors and stuff are. But like,
Gotcha.
Grogu was not supposed to come back.
Yeah. No.
And so Jon Favreau was very adamant. Like, look, either I get creative control or I'm gone. And so Grogu is back. Now he's got to deal with that. And so like that whole season, like I really liked all the stuff with Moff Gideon. Like, man, I thought that was a really great story and really had some catharsis. The Looney Tunes ending was kind of silly to me, right? With the
I actively dislike that finale, like quite a bit.
The whole thing?
The entire thing.
Yeah.
The season itself is a whole other can of worms that I can go on for many minutes about, so I won't do that here. Focus on the finale. I actively yelled at it a few times.
Did he really?
He did.
The fact that there were 4 years now of setup of what is Moff Gideon doing? Is he cloning? Is he working for Palpatine? What's going on? And then Mando just walks into the clone room and is like, oh yeah, these are his clones, and then blows them up.
Right.
He acts as if he knew it the entire time. There's no big reveal of them. It's just, here they are. They're gone now. I guess that story's done.
Yeah, well, I didn't mind that part.
I didn't either.
Because I didn't really notice what it was.
I didn't mind
it went by so quick that I was just like, oh, he's blowing up some.
I didn't mind it because
bad guys.
I can't remember if it was, I think it was season 2. They walk into that one base and there were clones there. So like they knew the cloning thing was happening and they knew that that was Moff Gideon's drive. Like so I didn't have a problem with all that. I just feel like they could have connected Moff Gideon better to, because clearly this council that he was meeting with, like they're trying to set up Thrawn, and that's going to be great. Hopefully, right? Hopefully, if they do Thrawn the way they did in the old books, I think it'll be fantastic. But
let him kill some characters off, please.
Yes, like let him be Thrawn, like, and that's the deal. This goes back to the conversation we we're having about, Kang. Like, if he's supposed to be this big bad, and we're building him up to be that, like, let him be successful.
Yeah.
And like Moff Gideon, at least in the first season, he was successful. Yeah. Right. And then you have, interference, and clearly that derails some stuff, and things get mixed up a little, and so we're trying to repair it. But I feel like you could have let him be more successful. Like, he didn't have to die in the season, or at the very least, like, I mean, because potentially there always could be another Moff Gideon clone out there somewhere,
right? Who
has powers because of when they stole Baby Grogu. Yeah. But when if they're gonna set up Thrawn, let him be successful. Yeah, let him kill somebody. Yeah. Bo-Katan, she's cool, right? And she's the girls are probably loving the female character, especially now that we got rid of old Gina Carano. Yeah. But if she goes, you cut the head off of the Mandalorians. where do they go now? Like that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That'd be compelling storytelling.
That's the problem that I had, is that they had some really good storylines that they could have built on.
And
Yeah.
then they just didn't.
They didn't.
I think that's partially like, well, how many episodes is it? Eight episodes or something?
Episodes.
Like, I understand that it's streaming and just expand your seat. Like,
Right.
give it 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And you
And
can
that's what
flesh those stories out.
That's what I've always said, and that was one of the good things about like the Daredevil show, the Punisher. They had 13 to 18 episodes, something like that. I don't remember. Enough where they could really tell their story, and they're
on top
not
of that-
packing all these different things.
And on top of
there.
that, like, you know, like look at everybody else in the format. Like, you can have your episode be way longer.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a whole
you know,
other thing.
me and my
It's
wife.
just a budget issue.
Yeah, me and my wife were
we don't
watching.
wanna spend that money.
Me and my wife were watching a show, and we would watch it the same day as we would watch Mando, and every time, and it felt like Mando was just here and gone so quickly. And we looked at the runtime, and I was like, "Well, that's why." Like this other show,
37 minutes
this other
and-
show says an hour, and it's actually an hour. You know, Mando is just under 40 minutes or something. Like you can do a lot more, and it's bugging me. Like I'm at least glad that this season that he kept the stinking helmet on. Like, it's like the Spider-Man problem. Like, you need Spider-Man because he's iconic, but they want the actor to be able to emote and stuff, so he's constantly taking the mask off. But like some people do it really. Like Carl Urban.
Oh yeah.
When he was playing
Judge
Dredd,
Dredd.
man, he played the crap out of Dredd. And like, I would have loved to see that. They said he was terrifying when they weren't filming because he stayed in character.
Yeah.
Right. Like, but that's if you have a good actor, like let them act, helmet or not. Like, don't take the helmet off. Like, let's do this for real.
No, and I think in the first season that they did a good job of like
he had to
you're
take
able
it off
still
one
see
time
emotions.
because he had a head fracture, and
It's
it got
still
fixed.
a good like story moment.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's finally
it was a
off
great
for-
story beat. We moved on, but I felt like season 2, like they kept finding reasons for him to take his stinking helmet off, and that's like he's not the Mandalorian anymore. And like I'm glad that they lean into that with the story. Right now he's got to go and get purged or whatever.
Then it takes like 2 episodes, and now he doesn't have a story anymore. He
Yeah,
just kind of hangs around.
Right. Now
it wasn't his story. It was Bo-Katan's story, really. this
and
season.
that's a whole season talk.
Yeah.
So there was definitely problems with this last season, and for me too, this last episode just didn't hit home for me. It was fine though, like
It's one of the worst episodes of the show, and I stand by that.
for a season finale, you expect like greatness, and it wasn't greatness. It was just okay,
and then Looney Tunes.
and
then
then
Looney Tunes.
obviously leave it open for season.
I feel like
4.
they're so afraid because of how poorly all the Marvel stuff's doing and how poorly some of the other things are doing. They're afraid to pull the trigger on like, just give Bo-Katan her show. Like, let's keep Mando's show Mando. She spins off and he can appear in that, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if we want that though. I
Well,
don't know,
after
I don't
Book of
wanna
Boba,
hold
of course we don't, right?
it. Well, that's yeah, because we want Ahsoka.
We do want Ahsoka.
So I guess yeah. He's got but I really don't mind Bo-Katan being in that story. I didn't have a problem with that really.
Yeah. But for
As
the most
long
part,
as
I
the
didn't.
story still made sense and was still good, like I was still cool with it.
Yeah.
But again, like how they just cut everything short.
Well,
All
yeah.
the storylines were just like, all right, we got to cut this. Moff Gideon, he's done.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
Well, like I said, the main problem I had is I did enjoy it. I'm not going to say like I hated it. Like, yeah, there were some things that could have been better.
I didn't hate it either.
But when I hold it up to season 1 and season 2, which like are great mirrors of each other, and hit the same beats and stuff, like this one just doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But also like there's you gotta admit there's a point where it's not Mando anymore. It's the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
Right. And Bo-Katan
Which I wouldn't
is,
mind that so much. Like, even if they just added an S to the title now and be like, oh,
Yeah.
it's Mandalorians now.
the Mandalorians.
Like how
like-
they did with Falcon and Winter Soldier at the end.
Yeah, like, it's Captain America and the Winter Soldier
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, and if they had made that change, like episode 2 or something,
Yeah.
man,
Because
that
it
would
changes
make
your
sense.
mind frame too.
Absolutely,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, now it's something different.
Yeah.
And that was that would have helped. But so thinking of it like that is still a good season though. Because I still don't think it was great.
I still don't think it's great, and I think of the 3 seasons, it's obviously the weakest.
Yeah.
And I'll agree with that. As far as closure goes, like, I mean, Moff Gideon's done, I guess, but like, yeah, it doesn't feel like they tied up whatever a lot of the stuff that they set up with him initially, and so I would have liked to have seen it executed a little better, but I'm a dude sitting in someone's upstairs room filming a
Yeah, what do we
podcast.
do? I mean, there was obviously behind the scenes stuff that messed with the whole production of it. And, that always sucks.
Can't always blame.
Just the writers.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of
We'll
writers.
get to that in a second.
Oh, okay.
We've
We got something else?
30 seconds.
We can move on.
To which I just want to say real
okay.
quick. Why'd we have to destroy the Darksaber? Why? That's been in lore for like a decade
that
plus
was a
now.
whole other thing.
It's been the center of multiple very heavy storylines through the shows.
And all those poor people who went and bought Darksabers from Disney are going to have to smash them now.
If they want to have some authentic.
If they want to be accurate to the universe, break that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Darksaber thing was another one that's like, let's just cut that story. Boom. Yeah. They could have done a lot with it.
Let's cut this conversation.
Let's do it.
It's the writer's strike.
Okay, so you cut me off from that perfect transition.
I had to mention the Darksaber.
Yeah, that was a good point, though.
You could have just waited to the very end and just ranted.
I could have, but I don't want to elongate this episode anymore.
Okay, so there is a writer's strike going on. Last time this happened was probably 5 years ago. Everything's 5 years ago to me. No, it was a while back. I don't remember when.
15 years ago or something?
Something like that.
Is Conan O'Brien going to be hero again?
Right. We got some good shows out of the writer's strike, though.
We got some destructions, though.
We got some really
I was
bad
watching
stand-up
Heroes, and then the
That's
writer's
one I keep
strike,
hearing.
and I was like, oh, well, I guess...
Oh, was that the last season of Heroes? Is that when
it was like season 2. It was, season 1 came out and it was amazing, and then season 2 writer's strike, and it just abruptly ended. And
But
Yeah.
we got some other good shows, but like a lot of the late night comedy stuff was not good. and then they
unless you were
just...
Conan O'Brien.
Right. But Conan's different. Conan's another...
I mean, he was a writer for like Simpsons and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So.
He had arguably some of the better episodes, but anyway, what do you have to say about the writer's strike, being a writer yourself?
Okay, so I am on team writer. Good job, guys.
Strike.
Overall, I think it was about time. It was going to happen eventually.
Yeah, it's got to happen every 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
They got to reset.
It just has to keep up with the technology.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
That's a
saying.
big part
the
of
big
it.
thing is streaming, right? Like
Streaming and AI are like the big two main points in their argument.
Well, yeah, and for me, I get it. Like, as someone who like grew up reading comic books, and like, you would hear about creators who like die basically with nothing, and they created some most iconic stories and some most iconic characters, and the way that the contracts and stuff worked,
Right.
they were just writers for hire, and so they got basically they didn't get any of the royalties or anything. They didn't get to continue to see payments for stuff that they created and that was successful for companies. And and I feel like that's what's happening now. Like, this doesn't fall under network television because of streaming. Like, they're still writing you,
Right.
and if they're bringing you any kind of success, like, compensate them, man.
Yeah.
That, and then they are actively hiring less writers for a shorter amount of time. So they're shrinking their writer room on purpose so they can hire less of them.
And
only
dump them
hiring
off
them
every
out for
season.
like a month or something. And won't even let them back on set.
Crazy.
To the point where like legally they can't even be credited as writers a lot of the time anymore. Only executive producers. So once stuff goes wrong on set, like it usually does, something goes wrong, something doesn't look how it's supposed to, whatever. They don't have any writers there to rewrite scripts with writing knowledge. So actual writers aren't even writing a lot of the shows anymore.
On top
which
of that,
makes
like,
sense why there's a decrease in quality in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say on top of that, when you talk about writing, like, consistency matters. Like, I like Community, right? Community seasons 1 through 3 have the same basically like writers team, like Dan Harmon's around, and then he's gone, so all the people that are attached to him are gone, and they bring in new guys, and they don't understand the characters the same way. They're not as intimate with the portrayals, and so it feels like if you watch season 4, they call it the gas leak year, right?
Was that during a writer's strike?
This was not, but
Okay.
this is I think this ties into what they were talking about with them turning them out and turning them over. So none of the characters are written the same. So by the end of the season, all the characters feel like characters of themselves, right? They're not behaving like they would have. Like a lot of them regress back to what they were like at the beginning of season 1. And so like all the work you did in 3 seasons to like give them growth and change, it gets reset because these guys don't understand the characters. They don't understand.
They remember them from when they first saw them or whatever.
Yeah, and so for them, like, especially because let's be real, like that's how TV used to work. Like you wanted to make the show so that it lasted as long as possible, right? Which is, I get it. Like, you know, you want to make as much money as you can off it, but people have grown and changed. Like we don't care if the show lasts 30 years if the writing is terrible and the characters never develop. Like we have been blessed to see
To have
like
The Simpsons?
to get shows where
That's what you were going to say.
like I mean like think about like Breaking Bad, where like, you know, it was what, like 5 or 6 seasons long, and characters grew and changed. By the end of the last season, Walter White is way not the same character he was in episode 1, and you got to see like these beautiful arcs come and be closed and done, right? If they reopen that show, and they were like, we're going to tell a different section of Walter White's life, like I'd probably end up watching it, but I would not. I would hate it. I would hate it for the legacy of the show.
Yeah. Well, what did you think of that new show they did? The Better Call Saul?
I love that show. I mean, it's
But
great.
that was a different guy.
Yeah, it's a different character, and you're getting to see what led him
it's a
to.
prequel, I think.
It is. Yeah, you get to see what, and the cool thing about that show is you don't just see him get leading into Breaking Bad, like some of the other surrounding characters, like Mike and Gus Fring, like some of the bigger characters in the show, like now they're starting to come in and like interact with Saul, and like you're starting to see them build what was in that show. But it's the same showrunners, it's the same people who wrote the other show, and you get that because it's consistent people. But if you're changing writers every episode or every season, you're not going to get that consistency. People don't view characters the same. Like this is a really awful example, and I can't remember the guy's name, but like back in the 90s, I think it was, there was a comic book writer who like clearly loved his creation Mantis. You recognize from Guardians of the Galaxy. Loved her so much that when he like left Marvel, went to DC, took her with him, gave her a different name, and then he went to another company and gave her a different name there. But like she was central in all the stories, and so you got all these Avenger stories in the 90s, and like Mantis is there either in the middle of it or on the periphery, and they're all god awful, right? Because he would like sacrifice other characters just to use her and like make her central, and so you got other characters who just are despicable, like the swordsman. Like apparently he gets involved with her, but then he's like the spirit of somebody else, like, and it becomes like this weird, convoluted, just horrible story because he keeps jamming her into this story, you know. And then he goes and does it at another company and another company, and so it's like you have things like that where like, what if one writer really likes this character, not this character, and like does something dumb, like kills them off, or let's look at Book of Boba, like brings Grogu back when we're trying to get Grogu and start a whole new thing over here, brings Grogu back, and now everybody who is there trying to build this other thing, now they're like, now we have to adjust and adapt to this change that's made by someone who has no right and no position to make these changes.
Now, it hasn't really impacted anything just yet because it just started, and anything that's in production right now would have already been written. But in like a year, that's when we're going to start seeing heavy stuff. Andor's already been delayed.
Right. Yeah, but they're delaying it, so we don't have to worry about that being a switch.
Theoretically.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens with the writer's strike, but I'm definitely with them also.
Yeah.
So shout out to all you writers out there. Hopefully you get what you need and what you deserve.
So now that we have that out of the way,
Where's the hat?
Okay, so like we mentioned at the beginning, we're doing mini battles and we're probably going to start off the episode after our Conan update.
Yes.
We'll start off with these mini battles, and you guys feel free to join in on it. You can vote, leave your comments and all that stuff. But we will pick 2 names every week, announce it, then we can do our research for it, and come back the following episode, and we will battle them out.
So our current tournament theme is one I am very excited about personally.
Nerd.
Yeah. Composers
Yeah.
of scores.
Yep.
So
we've
your John Williams's, your Hans Zimmer's.
we've compiled a list of 32 composers,
Yes.
and we will set them up bracket style. Pick 2 each week, and they will battle it out, and then they'll each move up the rankings.
Yeah, and eventually we'll see who the supreme composer is.
That's right. So let's go ahead and pick the first 2.
Yes. It should be noted that these are both TV, film, and video game composers.
Yes.
A whole trio.
Oh,
This is not agreed upon. Yeah.
So we have here the Ash Ketchum hat of choices.
R.I.P.
Klaus Badelt.
Klaus Badelt.
Okay.
All
Known
right.
for one movie. But that movie being the first Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
So any of the main themes used throughout that series from this guy.
That's old Klaus.
Yeah.
He rocked that. Okay.
Zoe
So who
Saldana.
is he going to go up against?
Would you like to pick?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Brings us back to our Zoe Saldana reference.
Yeah. Watch,
Full
this is going to be
circle.
Avengers, right? There's going to be
It's,
a...
Alan Silvestri.
Yeah. Oh!
Ooh, Danny Elfman.
Ooh.
Wow.
He did do Age of Ultron.
Did he do X-Men? The
He didn't do
I don't
any.
think
X-Men.
so.
was he? Oh, I thought he did the
He did,
Magneto theme.
The what?
No, that's Henry Jackman.
Oh, that's right, Henry Jackman. Because that Magneto theme is
Danny
dope.
Elfman, known for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Uh,
The Simpsons, Batman, Spider-Man. I think.
pretty much any Tim Burton.
Yes. So, this reminds me. Gotta advertise this now.
Mm-hmm.
We have a public Spotify playlist.
Oh, yeah.
Which has tracks from every composer on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see who is on the list and will eventually be made into a battle. The title of the playlist is, I believe, Clash of the Composers.
I believe Clash of the Composers can be found on Spotify.
Yeah. Wonder what name.
TallBeing.
Okay.
The link will be on his face, Bird's face.
Yeah, so look up on Spotify Clash of the Composers under TallBeing, and you can check out all the composers that are going to be in this mini tournament battle. And the first 2, Danny Elfman versus Klaus Badelt. Go check out their music, see which ones you guys prefer, and then what did you?
I feel like just your descriptions of what they did, like there's already a clear winner.
Well,
as soon as you said Simpsons. Well, I mean, we'll do it for reals, but
look, Danny Elfman is for real. He's
I know.
You know,
I know
When-
who I'm
I
picking.
actually expect Danny Elfman to go up pretty high.
Yeah, when you said Danny Elfman and I said Klaus Badelt, I was like,
We'll see.
Yeah.
he already said I expect Danny Elfman to go pretty high. So unless there's like a losers tier,
There's not.
There's
not. No.
You're out and you're out.
But we might get some
Sorry, Klaus.
feedback from people saying we want Klaus. So
give me wild card. Wild card.
hey,
Hashtag Team Klaus.
I mean that's just how it was random.
Yeah.
You guys saw it was random picking out of the gotta catch them all.
Unagreed upon random.
Yeah. So it's just how it worked out. Maybe it's a bad pick for Klaus, but you never know.
Yeah.
Underdogs win all the time.
It's because he likes Rocky.
Yeah. So do you want to do some honorable mentions? We save that for next week.
So yeah, I have a few honorable mentions.
No, don't read the honorable mentions. I feel like there should be just like a wild card. It could be maybe some of those honorable mentions or something.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, no honorable mentions. We'll
Not
get
this
that another time.
Yeah. Go check out the list. See if you guys have any honorable mentions. Maybe they'll make the wild card. And that's it for now. So
Yeah, that's from us. Signing off.
yeah. So go sign up. Like, subscribe.
Radio host?
Find us on Instagram. Find us on Facebook. Find us here on YouTube.
Finally.
And yeah, do all the things that you got to do to stay up on what we got going on. So
Like, subscribe, smash the ring, the bell. What do they say? I don't know.
things.
All the things they say.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time. This is the room upstairs.
That's fandom for you.
Bring it back.
Oh, is that our saying?
That's our sign off.